Okay, hello everyone. This is what's happening in Wirral in connection with Voice for All caregivers, and we're here at Shafts today. We've got the beautiful Michelle, the beautiful Debbie, and our very own beautiful Debbie from the Voice for All caregivers. And we're going to have a little chat today about how these ladies got into community work, what Shafts offers in the community, and what it's going to be doing going forward. So, first of all, I'm going to hand over to you, Michelle, and can you tell us how you got into working with Shafts and how you got into community work?
So my story starts from way back, but I've got 3 boys and I had them really quite young. So when they were like, say about 7, 8, we had some intervention from a family support worker. She came along and we did like different strategies, and what my eldest one was quite naughty and wasn't doing well at school. So that's where it started for me. I worked there for about a year, and then she discharged us, but then it gave me a real insight to like family support and the type of things that I thought, oh, I'd like to do that. Sadly, that same person she became one of my really good friends, but sadly a year later she lost her daughter in a car accident at 19. So we decided, really, I won't cut it short, but so many years passed and we decided we were going to set up our own charity, and it was called Charlotte's Bright Side. I became like part of that, quite a big part, and then was employed as like a community worker. I worked there for about 4 years. We had all different stuff going on, and then sadly got made redundant. But by then I was in the thick of the community and what I liked and like what I wanted to do and help people. So I had a couple of little jobs in between that, one in a homeless hostel, one as another family support worker in Birkenhead North. And then this job came up, and it was actually called a youth engagement officer. So it was a polar opposite to what I'm doing now, but it was still helping people, vulnerable people. Shafts have a programme called Chance for Change, and I changed that programme. It was very much catered for older people, between 11 and secondary school age. It was. So I got asked to tweak that and make it primary school age. We were commissioned by the police, and it was in and around drugs, county lines, knife crime, mental health and wellbeing. So I had to alter that whole programme and revamp it all, and then we delivered that out into primary school. So before COVID, my job was very much to do that. I went out into 5 primary schools, one every single day. Then, COVID hit and everyone went to pot, and we got furloughed for some of that time, but then actually I was bored at home, and I could see that there was so much we could be doing for people. So me and Debbie especially went to our boss and said, we don't really want to be furloughed anymore. So she said, well, what can you do, because you can't go into schools? And Debbie was very much office based, which obviously let Debbie explain her role in a minute, but there was nothing really for us to do at Shafts. So we were like, what are we going to do? So I snuck away and got some funding, and that opened our social supermarket. So I knew our trustees were saying there wasn't a real need for it in this area. Around this area there isn't masses of deprivation, but slightly down the road we have like New Ferry, Rock Ferry, Tranmere. So there was pockets of areas that aren't too far away that I thought, hold on, this will really work. So because they didn't really like that in the beginning, I then snuck away, got £5,000 funding, came back and thought, well, can we just trial it? It's going to cost us nothing. So they agreed to that, and we did it. And it's just gone from strength. So now my job title is a family and community manager. I still go out to the schools, but I'm only in 2 schools now, and we have a team of 2 other people who go out and deliver it. So the programme's still out there, and it's been tweaked now around like emotions, mental health, well-being, healthy lifestyles, healthy relationships, knife crime, gun crime, and county lines.
I was just going to ask that about how much has it changed, what you're having to deliver from when you started to now.
So when I started, it was all around, even though it was commissioned by the police and it was very much to do with county lines, it was all mainly around about well-being and health and like emotions, and it was all like quite nicey. Whereas obviously now there's a lot more knife crime, and what we've done now is we've included real life people. So within the knife crime week we have Ava White, the gun crime week we have Rhys Jones. But obviously the young girl that got shot at Christmas was a close friend of ours, so it's only right for me that she goes in there, because it's so close to home for us and it's so real, and we've tried to include people that were like what the world say, were in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I believe that they were in the right place at the right time, you know, and that it wasn't their fault. They were doing what they should be doing. So our scenarios are around them people. We show a picture and we say, like, does anyone know who this person is? And it's, you know, most of them know who Rhys Jones is, but they don't really know who the others. Well, they know who Ellie is because she's very much in the press currently, isn't she? But and then we talk about, I have all the facts and what happened, and we talk about it, and you know, and then we do scenarios around what would we do if someone asked us to mind a gun, because it's not just the shooting, it's the aftermath of all of that and how quickly someone can be involved in that without even realising that they are. So that programme's took a bit of a turn, really. It's gone quite dark, if I'm quite honest. But
are you going to link in with Ellie's dad starting an anti-gun campaign?
Yeah, so he's a really close friend of mine. Yeah,
right,
so he's currently on that walk from Land's End to John's Grove. So yeah, but I've spoke to him. Yeah, he I'm not sure I'm not sure where he wants to go with it. He's walking now, and I think that's what he needs to do. He feels free, you know, and
he needs to get away from here.
So we'll see. But he obviously knows what I do, and we've chatted about it, and you know, we definitely would love to link in somewhere. But you know how that's feel. You know, I'm not sure. He's very much in with the Weapons Down, Gloves Up program, which is phenomenal. You know, and you know, we've started boxing sessions here on a Thursday, almost like not on the back of that, but on the back of that, because it's
Dave Goodman.
So no, I don't know who that one is. We've started with the Williston gym with a man called Mike Wild. He got some funding. It's MW Sport, so he's got someone from the Williston gym in, and they've been coming on a Thursday 6 till 7, and them sessions are obviously totally free to young people, and it's just about giving them different skills and with no financial implication. So that story that sort of then just all happened, didn't it? It just all unravelled, and now I'm a community worker. So although that programme is my baby, and like I'm dead protective of it, I've sort of took a little bit of a back seat and allowed the other people to go and deliver it.
So do you see the difference that
the main difference, which is just bizarre, and when I've chatted to all our head teachers, is attendance in school. So they're saying when they feel that they're on that programme, or that they're after the programme, their attendance goes up, which is like quite not weird, but because they could still be doing whatever they're doing on the streets, but their attendance has gone up in school, which is
recognised.
100%. So
you don't ever see yourself back, do you?
No.
Someone comes in and says,
this is how it is, and so it's been
and
really
I think that's
good.
what's needed. Somebody needs to go in and give it to them hard. That's it. And Shell has.
So that's like that's like probably how my job has evolved. So now I'm a family and community manager, do exactly what it says in the title, and I manage the families and the community. So I do anything from making people cups of tea to help with benefit forms, to support mental health support. I'm supporting one of our young men. I think I spoke to you, Dave. I won't obviously say his name, but I spoke to you about him last time. So he's now gone into helped him get a referral. He's now gone into a mental health hospital in Surrey. So I'm supporting him via the phone and on Zoom with his psychiatrist over in Surrey.
So do you do the I seen it was an advertisement, was it the coat?
So we do winter coats, we do electric blankets, we do hoodies or oodies, whatever they're called.
Do you find that that's different to what you would have been offering pre-COVID?
100%.
100%. COVID's changed
the needs
hell of a lot.
And the biggest need that we saw over COVID was taxi drivers. Because most of them are self-employed but hadn't been in it long enough to get the grants. So they were these, you know, most beautiful men and ladies, but there was only a few who literally had families and bills and literally had nothing. And they were crying, weren't they, Deb, coming here saying, Michelle feels so embarrassed. Like, I've worked my whole life. I only joined the taxis 3 months ago, and I don't qualify for this and that, and I've never been self-employed, and you know, there was nothing.
And the thing was, and still is, it's not about. They know they need stuff. They know they need that loaf of bread. They know they need. But it's the embarrassment.
Asking, isn't it?
Do you know what sounds amazing? What you're doing, so it sounds to me like, well, it's apparent to me. You're very sort of. It's a living document, and you're very flexible, but every man, whatever it is, you sort of get involved and
anything.
Well, little miss here, light bulb, we can do you know, we're doing something now, we're doing the coats and the blankets and all that.
Yeah.
And then she could ring me at 10 o'clock last night and say, I've had an idea. And I go, oh God, here we go. And then it'll be enough. But the idea is good. It's not just a whim. It's, everything.
Yeah.
So to give it a due, so before COVID, there was just me and Jan, wasn't there? We used to do education of a daytime and that went, and we had loads of staff and they all got made redundant. So when Michelle came here as the youth engagement, so it was just me and Jan in the office all day, and we had the youth club and I worked in the big youth club, and we did used to have loads of numbers. Then the COVID hit, and then Michelle come up, like she just said, about the social supermarket. The Christmas was, on a swear. So the Christmas, they come out, it was a half.
Was it? No, it was a fair. It wasn't half his holiday activity fund.
Right,
it wasn't
so
that. It was.
So
I can't remember what the fund
they come
was.
up to her without us knowing and said, and this is not an exaggeration, like 1,500,
1,200 it was.
You know, the schools,
Wow.
the free meals and all that. So asked if she would do it, and she went, yeah, but didn't tell us or ask.
They'd all say no. They would all
So
say
then
no.
there was, we've got pictures. She'll have pictures on the phone. They're on our Facebook. So the sports hall in there was set up as like
a factory, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a factory.
It's amazing.
And we all come in, and every room within the building was full of bags of food. It was 3 bags per family, plus a crate of fruit and veg, and activity packs and crisps, all volunteers, and then go and deliver them to all
So we had to
houses.
deliver them as well.
And we had to deliver them. And to be fair, we were all like, I wasn't well, we were all tired. That was a February one, because she done it again in February.
Never told them again.
But you know what though, to be fair, when it was like, it was a daunting, we were like, oh God, we're not going to do it. But you know, we did, and the buzz that we got out of doing it.
Yeah.
And then of course she said to the February. I was unlucky, I got COVID, so I couldn't do it. But then, since then, she comes up with this, like, I've had this idea for that, I've got this idea for that, I've got idea for Christmas, got idea for Easter.
We need it on our team, we need it on our Facebook
She
pages
just
as
rolls
well.
and rolls and rolls, but they all work.
Yeah.
All an idea,
Because I'm a lunatic.
and it's not an idea, they've not failed, they've all worked.
It's amazing.
And
just to give you an idea on that, to give you an idea of that Christmas one, just because we all shop in Aldi, everyone does, and we know how great value it is. The Aldi bill was £42,000. So that'll give you an idea of how much. There was like lorry after lorry coming down the road. They're going, is this another one, Michelle? I was going, oh, I don't know. But I knew there was like 9 lorries.
You know what, Michelle, I'm inspired by what I mean here, because you're doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, even if we can achieve on our Facebook page 1% what you're achieving, that will be over the moon. So it's amazing. You just like the way you're doing it, it'll be off the scale.
It's just all natural.
It's all natural. It's all natural.
It's because you live in it.
Yeah, it is. And like I was a single mum with 3 kids on benefits, rented accommodation, debt, domestic violence. My eldest child was really naughty, got excluded from 2 schools, excluded from primary school. And I didn't have social care, but that's great, and I didn't need it. But I had family support workers. I went to parenting groups. So when these parents are coming through the door, for me, I don't have one qualification on paper. I left school 16 and pregnant. I had no qualifications. But I've worked really, really hard. But it all is personal. I'm so professional on that side, but I've got such a lived experience on that side. So when these people are coming through, and like people in our team, have a lot of money. They drive nice cars. They have mortgages. They have husbands. So me and Leanne, who's just left, me and her have lived like completely opposite to that. We've had partners, and we've got children to different fathers, and and our money, we're living for payday. How much have you got? £35, or then just a tenner. That's how we live. And I think this is really silly, but I think you'll understand. I feel that that's been really needed in Shafts. I feel that
totally
lived experience is, to go back to that earlier conversation, there's no need for a social supermarket. Mendip Estate is the poshest estate.
But it's social housing. You're in the middle of a social housing estate.
It's a lovely estate.
Still social housing.
Exactly, It's a lovely estate. There's no need for that round here. Okay.
And there's people, there's nurses and doctors.
Absolutely,
exactly.
And so I just do what I want to do.
you're living in the real world.
Yeah, and like my mum and dad, I was joking saying my mum and dad can't control me, so no one can, because they have never been able to control me. And I had a fantastic childhood, so I've also lived that experience. My mum and dad were together, we went on 2 abroad holidays, they both had a car. I know this sounds stupid, but it was very nice. Our life was lovely. We were never like, I didn't live a life like what my kids have lived. We lived a beautiful life, a beautiful home, and 2.4 children, I had a little dog, and it was all lovely. And then I just made bad choices as an adult, you know, so I've also can relate to that side of things as well. Like I always laugh, my mum was high up in the NHS mental health team, and my dad was a station officer in the fire brigade. They were dead posh. And I think, imagine when I came home 16 and pregnant, like, but I think it's made me who I am, you know, that them life experiences have made me become me, haven't they?
Yeah. You've seen both sides, and you're rounding off your
and so when people are coming for a free coat, there's not a judgment coming from that, from me one tiny bit.
As well. It's often, if you're in need, like you said, you know, they need the loaf of bread, they need the bread, but it's coming through that door and saying, can you help me?
Can you help me? Yeah, absolutely,
the biggest step.
I'll be honest. So, obviously, I've worked in the youth club forever, but I have never experienced people needing, like what was Shaf. No, not at all. But even though the irony of it is, because Shaf started off for street boys.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's how it started, for the poor people who didn't have shoes on the feet. That's their background. That's where they started and worked up. So when Michelle brought this in, I was like, community. Because I'd just been here in the youth club, loving doing what I'm doing. With the teenagers, with the footballers in that little thing. So when Michelle come in, I was like, community. Do you know what? I literally thrive on it. It's one of the best things that's ever happened here, to this club, within this area and out, of course. But to what's offered, I just love it. Like the junior club, which is like on today, you know, getting all the primary school kids in. So the way it used to work here is, again, before COVID, you were allowed in the club of a night from 6 o'clock, 8 years upwards. You'd have nothing younger, and there was nothing a day, not another weekend, anything like that. Then Michelle said, these kids need something after COVID. I haven't done anything for 2.5 years, in and out of school and all that time. So opened up the junior club. It's literally thriving, and I love it. Absolutely,
like 80
love
to 100
it.
kids every night.
And then we have the holiday club, which is coming up for Easter. We've got that coming. So there's and that's obviously the free places, isn't it?
That's get food and stuff like that. Is it?
Breakfast, lunch, snacks, all the activities.
That was something that was about in the 70s, wasn't it? When the kids went to get the meals when they were off school. And that went away, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did.
They come
so like Auburn brought back.
There's no charge to come. You come through the door.
No charge for the youth club.
Well, we charge £1 for the youth club, and we charge £1 for our after school club, but it's very hit and miss. Like no one's saying, have you got your pound? No, if you've got, lots of our families aren't in need as well. Lots of our families have, you know, like really good lives and just and just okay lives, you know, not amazing, but a lot of them can afford £1 and can afford to maybe give some donations during the year and help us with Easter eggs and help us with the parents.
There's no judgment.
So you've made it desirable for all walks
of life.
And do you know what's
do you know what's crazy? You know when they say, and with the older ones, and like different kids from different areas, do not mix, do not go to. So you got the Woody and the Ford and no. Put them in the youth club. Oh, they do. Because you put them in the same environment. Yeah, they do. Because we have them here.
And the little ones.
Get them younger.
Of course you have.
The little
got
ones.
to nurture them.
They don't know if like little Johnny next to them. They don't know anything about them. So they don't know if they're in social care, postcodes. Mum's a smackhead, dad's an alcoholic. They don't have a clue.
They just know he's playing football. We're gonna play football.
Well, that's it. He likes Xbox like me, or whatever.
It's just. This has got to be the only one of its kind around, really. And
I think we are.
The model that you've put out there, that should be rolled out in all areas.
You know,
should.
I mean, I know there's different places.
Wait for my dream question in a minute. What I want for the future.
Well, I know there's like the Beechwood that they've got their youth club, and then you've got Lisa with the Addy and things like that. But it's still not on the scale.
No,
because it's not, because this appeals to the whole of the world.
Where the likes of the Beechwood is for the kids on the Beechwood.
They're all very localised
Yes.
apart from this one.
But
Yes.
on during the holiday club, so we flip reverse in the holiday, so we all down tools on our day job, and then we open 9 till 3, Monday to Thursday, and that's obviously totally free. So the minibus, we have a minibus, and I go, because I live in New Brighton, I go to New Brighton and meet 17 kids from New Brighton and bring them on a minibus, and then bring them home.
Because they've got no provision over there.
Because obviously my old provision was in New Brighton, and because there's nothing like this in New Brighton, there's other things going
They
on,
love
but
it,
not
don't
like
they,
this.
Shab?
Yeah, they meet me, I've made this little
love
bus
it.
stop, and they meet me at 8:30 in the morning, and then we drop them off at 4 o'clock.
So do you have anything at weekends?
So we have football, don't we?
We have the football.
So the other side of Shafts, which
Got the
Debbie can
men's teams,
talk about a little
Yeah,
bit more.
yeah.
Good reputation, Shafts.
Oh yeah, and they always have had the football.
That's
So
right.
obviously we got the football. We have the soccer school. They do there. We've got Broken
So
Gate
Debbie's
PT.
other part of her role is that she's the club secretary for all the football.
Yeah.
So Debbie sorts all, that's like nothing to do with like my side is all families and community, but Debbie sorts all the football.
Yeah, I sort all the
I think there's
football.
20, 22,
20 teams.
20 teams.
From like
From
under
little to
7s
big.
up to adults.
And do you cater for the training for them, or
Yeah.
are they private groups?
No. So we do like they all get a training slot on the Astros, and then we do have private hirings in.
So can
and
anybody
space-
come along to them or to the
No.
You have to be like part of the
got
team.
a part of a team because you can't have.
I mean for the shaft one,
Oh, the youth club ones, anybody can come
Anybody
along,
can
but
come
when
along,
you've
so
got the own football teams,
it's
it's
gotta be a
basically
part
that
of their
football
team.
team.
So like say they
Under
might be called
12s.
Shafts, Reds, under 12s.
It's them.
So you have to be signed and pay a registration fee.
You have a website where it says when you need a kid, because now again you see football teams.
Anyone with a goalie,
Yeah. So what they do with that is obviously then that goes down to the Facebook. You go on Eastern League, you go on Wirral Football, and you advertise.
Yeah. So you
For
can
the
get
kids.
it that
Or-
way. They're
or
all
like-
not like that now.
Yeah, they're all it's all done like
It's
that
quite
now.
complicated, isn't it? Because suppose the football is totally separate, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously you have to pay for your football subs
Yeah.
and there's things to pay, but that's almost like, sounds awful like a hobby, isn't it? Rather than the community
Community
side.
side.
It's very,
Yeah.
very separate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
The demands there with the football.
Absolutely,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Massive,
And then once we get the new Astro that we're getting, so the grass pitches are going, and we've got the funding, we're getting a new all-weather 11v11, which is coming up. So it's coming up the side of the path where the pitch is at the bottom. And then obviously that's going to encourage more. We can get more teams on the Shafts because we've got the space for them to train, space for them to play. We've got more teams who will want to come in and hire. So it's more
Does the dog
money.
still play yet?
No, because well, it should have been done now. So this season, the Dock and the Lions and all went off and hired a pitch, and then hoping it was going to be done, but then they haven't even put a shovel in the floor yet.
We've had some big
Because it's all down
delays,
to
whatever.
planning. And then the Dock will be back. Obviously, once well, we're hoping the Dock will be back once that's all done. So we're in a bit limbo at the minute. So we're just more or less concentrating on our teams, and then obviously the other side of it is then the youth club and the community and all that. So it's constant. The club's constantly busy.
So where does all your main stock of funding come from?
All different people.
Different
So
people.
it's
It's all
all
grants. Yeah.
So like
Do
we
you
do
get anything from the council?
no,
not no more.
nothing. No, we don't
Nothing.
get anything from them now.
Because they used to, so they made a deal years ago. So over the Borough Road, there used to be a club called the Mountwood, and because that's where I used to go, and this was the boys' club. No girls were allowed in, and then that I can't remember when.
Was that the old building that's at the bottom? Was that what you're on about?
Well, it was next door to that,
Right.
going up the field. It was like a wooden hut. It was great because that was my childhood.
Remember it, vaguely,
And then here was just boys. And then what had happened was that got burned down. So they give us a place in, they've gone now, in by Koala, in Woodchurch Lane. There was two big, they looked like dormitories. And the council gave us one of them, done it back up, and then we all back. And then the youth started to slide off it, so it became a job club and blah, blah, blah. Wasn't cost effective and all the rest of it. So they made a deal with Shafts. If they could bring girls into the club, and we will supply you with some of the youth workers, and we'll give you X amount of money. So they said, okay, I think it was around 1998 or something like that. I can't remember the exact date. So that's when girls got introduced, and then every year they got funding, but then every year after that it started to go down and down and down.
And that's what happens with the council,
It
isn't
does.
it? You know,
And then next thing, the Hive come on board, no disrespect to the Hive come on board. Then the money went from all. So the Hive, so the provisions, youth clubs got closed down. money went to the Hive because Wirral Council said we pledged to give you X amount of money. We lost all our youth workers, lost all the money, so we just run with our staff and volunteers.
But then that happens, doesn't it?
It does.
And like we're not like
no. It happens sign of the times.
To be honest,
I
like
that, but
I think it's better.
Like this is exactly what.
It's sad that it's
putting into.
But it's sad that your local council are not providing Wirral wide because your High Beb, you had Eastham, you know, Morton's closed, that they had their building and I don't know, needed repaired and they'd moved into it, but it's the kids who suffer. And I understand it, I do understand it, but it's always the kids that suffer.
But the problem is where
it's still down on the way.
11 to 15, there's nothing really for them.
No, there isn't.
You know, and what is for them doesn't really match.
It doesn't. No.
So like to the programme you're talking about, you know, you could roll that out everywhere, but there's nowhere.
There's nowhere for them to go. You know? And it's sad.
The thing is with shafts, and this probably is speaking slightly out of turn, but I'm not saying I want you to keep it on. No. But for me, it's sad, and I'm talking the last, say, 8 years maybe. I've been here 4. So a few years before that, it's been sat, hidden away, predominantly ran by football and one youth club that ran 3 nights a week or 4 nights, whatever it was. Very, very limited. And my take is
that because it's brought money in the football.
And it's predominantly been a boys' club, a football club. So I feel that the last few years, even before I come, maybe slightly, but then I think when I come, it changed. It's always been, I understand about the council and them not recognising it, but then I always think, I'd like to question how much shafts actually put themselves out there, because I don't think that they did. I think they were happy, like, there was Debbie and Jan in the office running the show, there was this, there was that, and then that was it. Everyone was happy to knock off and go home, whereas my enthusiasm and passion, as my one of my dreams or whatever it is, someone said to me in an interview, it's like a little hidden gem. And I thought, so I want it to be a shining diamond. So before however many years that takes me, shafts will be at the top and the others will float underneath it. So that's where I want to go. But it's been hidden.
Even having kids, and like, we used to live in Rockferry, my kids never came in.
That's what I mean.
To be fair,
it was more about, I mean, mine are in the 20s now. So it was like, it was around sport.
That's what I mean.
I disagree on that one. The simple reason why is the youth club was like 5 nights a week, Monday to Friday. The football, but there was no. The first Astro they got was the 7v7 there, and then you still had all your grass pitches. So when it was the youth club, you could have here between 80, 90 kids and teenagers. You had all your resources. You had, you had the sexual health. You had the police coming in. There was always something going on. It was all a mixture of all the girls and all the lads from Woody Set, from Rockferry, from New Ferry.
And all lads from the Knock used to come and
exactly, all the time. And that was from 8 upwards, even though it started 8 years. For years, you had all of the youth workers who were absolutely fantastic at that time. They were amazing. There was loads of stuff going on, loads. But then when it started to dwindle...
Can I ask you a question on that there quickly? We just saying it dwindle with Michelle coming in. Just out of interest, was there fee is probably the wrong word, but you know when Michelle come in and had all these ideas? Was there a little bit of sort of, because funding went so tight from councils and stuff, you didn't want to, you were getting the footballers running, you didn't want to, you thought, hang on a minute, because you don't want to lose what you've got. A lot of that goes on, doesn't it?
It does.
And then Michelle's come in new and it's given
so what had happened was, so
that's why you've backed us straight away, because it's amazing. But
there was a restructure, so obviously there was like there is in every business, there was a restructure, because at the end of the day it's still got to be a business because you've got to survive as well. So when all that changed and staff were made redundant and because of a day it was a thriving education, alternative provision, nighttime was youth club, then when that all changed and then there was nothing in the daytime, that stopped. And then when Jan took over from old management and all the staff and all that, things changed. This is not on Jan's part. Things changed. Of course, it had to change. So then the youth club, the staff that came in tried to change the youth club and inflict certain rules, and the kids were like, "Wow, what are you doing?" So it was their space, and they were like, "Wow, what are you doing now? We usually do this, and we do this, and we do that." And you're like, no, you can't do that no more, no, you can't do it. So they started to dwindle off. Not to the point where you were getting 10 kids. Instead of having 80 kids and you're only getting 60. You know, like that type of thing. Yeah. And then obviously, then the fund had come along, the new workers come in, because there was a few, wasn't there, Michelle? A few, like, a few workers. Michelle was the only one who stood the test of time, because all the others aren't here. But she was the one who you know, stayed, stuck it out. And then Michelle had all these ideas. We used to have a summer club. We had one prior where we used to have loads of kids, but then we had another one, it would only be as long as you could get some on the minibus, and that was it. Yeah. There was no more, getting charged £15.
So that only lasted 1 year, because then I thought, oh, I don't think so. Boom. And then changed it all. Completely.
And then she changed it, and it worked. And then obviously staff left, come the night time, staff left, then COVID hit, then it was hard to get it back. The youth club, because all the kids then were in the rooms, weren't they, or you know, doing all the stuff. They didn't want to come to the youth club, so Michelle had the idea, right, we'll start with the younger ones and work it up, and it's worked. And it has. It's absolutely been up since COVID. It's just literally flew.
Do you still link in with the community police officers as well? Do you still link in with the police?
Yeah, but I don't think they're around as much nowadays.
They used to always be here, but then they'd come up. I mean, we always used to,
you know, the schools and the night time and the county lines, you still link in.
Well, if they're around, we do. Like, they hire up front, bizarrely, some police officers hire our Astros a couple of times a week. So we sort of touch base with them when they're playing footy. But like, we have like a number we could, but we never do. Like, we haven't just,
Yeah, we don't.
But I think, sorry Debbie, just going back to what this Debbie said, I don't think you meant that there wasn't anything else going on, but that's exactly what I meant. To the outside world, that was the perception, and Shafts were happy with that, so no one pushed anything else. So they were happy with the 80 kids coming into the youth club, they were happy with the alternative provision, they were happy in the office doing whatever they were doing, and then that was it, they all plateaued, so it was all fine, there was no one coming in going, oh, what about this and what about that? So I think, I get what you mean, because until I worked here, I know I lived in Wallasey, but I've also had 3 boys who've all played football. I'd never ever even heard of this place in my whole entire life. So the perception, I agree with you, Debbie, is that it was very much sporty, boy-y, wasn't really a youth club, didn't know anything about it, and that was the way it was. Whereas my aim was and still is to come in, turn that all around and put us at the top. So that's why I think the council don't always, maybe it's not even a criticism, like maybe don't back us, why funders don't back us sometimes, why I don't think people actually realise the social element and the real hard work that is going on behind these closed doors. You know, hi Michelle, you're all right, would you be able to help me fill a PIP form out? No problem. Now I know services where you've got to do a form to get a form filled out and there's a 6-week wait. We have a same day turnaround on hampers.
I didn't know you did that. So
don't make it common knowledge, edit that out.
To be fair, times have changed though as well, because going back to what Michelle said with the youth club, so when we did have the girls and it was mad busy, there was loads of stuff going on. The girls done like dancing, they done funding.
But we're not saying that it was.
No, I'm just saying how it's changed with kids. So like the girls would be in and they do dancing and they do a performance and they'd raise money, they're allowed to do stuff. So there was always stuff going on, but there was a lot more youth clubs. So if you didn't want to go to Shafts, you go to the BB. If you didn't want to go to the BB, you go to Higher Beb. If you didn't go to Higher Beb, you'd go to the Woodchurch. But then you could also, when you were able to, where now it's an absolute minefield, you could say to a group of kids tonight, who fancies going the Bats tomorrow night? Okay, bring your towel and your costume. You jump them on the bus and you go to Bats. You can't do that now. Who fancies going up to New Brighton? We'll get on the bus and we'll go for a walk around the June. You can't do that now unless you've got your risk assessment, you got this, you got that, you got. So times then were a little bit easier. So and that's what kids stopped. But then everything changed, didn't it? The game consoles come in, the attitude. People did say, people used to say, it was becoming very Americanised. We're only 10 years behind in America with the knives and the guns and the drugs and the this and the that. And so each youth club had their own base. You used to swap, like we used to take a group down to say the BB and do whatever, and then the group from the BB would come up here. And we used to do that like exchanges within youth clubs. But then it started to change. Of course it does. But then it started to change. But it didn't change for the better. Do you understand what I mean? So like they start, and then next thing, you know, we could be here, and next thing, before you know, you got a gang coming up the path, there's going to be a fight, which was always standard. you don't get that now.
Yeah.
But, well, you don't here. We used to have it all the time. So people think, we've had plenty of run-ins with residents, getting the local MPs, we're sick of the kids and always fighting outside.
Yeah.
We've had to, so we were no different from any other youth club. We still had the same problems. But because we were here in the nice Mount Estate, people would do you know what I mean?
That links back to the council, so it's not even anyone being like, dropping off funding.
No,
they don't see it because and I'm not disputing that any of that was going on, and I've seen photos and videos that it all was.
Yeah.
But it was, from my understanding, it was never pushed out there.
No, it wasn't.
Everyone
They
was
were just quite happy.
plateauing at the kids that they've got, the families that they know, the work that they're doing, blah blah blah. That's the word. Very complacent in what they're doing.
Because I think because it's a charity and it was run by trustees, they were just quite happy.
In their little bubble.
In their own little bubble, the trustees. Because you need the trustees, you do need your trustees on a charity where the likes of the other youth clubs, even though we had council staff and council funding, were the council own youth clubs. Yeah. But we were the charity, so, you know, some of them, we used to say to them, oh, stop being so snobbish. Like, you know, the lads would say something, they'd be all, you never seen a trustee in here, ever. Yeah. You do now, you didn't. And they didn't even know. You know, they'd walk through the building and the kids would be going, what's that? Yeah. And you're like, they're like a trustee. What's one of them? Because they didn't know who they were. The trustees were there. You run the club.
But that is how it should be. Trustees shouldn't be in the
but they should. But they still should come in. Yeah. Exactly. And we had one who used to come all the time, Norman Coosh. One of the poshest men you'll ever meet. But God, he was lovely. Yeah. And he always used to come into the youth club and see the kids and ask them what they were doing, but he was the only one who did. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? So it was a different type of people.
Because if you're going to sign on the dotted line to be a trustee, you want to see what's going on. Yeah. You want to see what you're doing.
Times were different.
Times were so different, and they were so different.
The community social aspect has gone wildfire since COVID.
Very much so.
You know, even your group that you run, you know, the COVID groups, everything, everything has gone wild. Everyone's after the same money and everyone's doing a really good job with what they do. What other people are better than doing than us. And I say this with the sound so big-headed, but what I have really tried to do is reverse that. So before I came, that we weren't really involved with any other services. That I as you can probably gather, put myself right out there. Like, I'm not shy. Like, I put myself right out there. I always make friends. Like Dave, I met you through getting a taxi. I literally met him and we started talking and we had a whole conversation from Shafts to New Brighton, and then we've swapped details and here we are. Do you know? So everyone I meet in my life, every course I've ever gone on, I've come out with a friend. Every meeting I've ever gone on, because for me it's so important to get out there. Put you all down, and you know, I don't mean that because it's part of the history, but that was then, this is now. Like that is great, or this was brilliant, but what we've got now is, the reality is we've got 10 kids, 10 coming to our older youth club. So my big push, I'm not even the youth lead, but my big push is, what do we do for our babies who are now in year 6 and year 7 who leave our club to go to the BB? What are we missing? So I'm doing loads of bits of research. These are some of the most challenging kids, which I know my staff struggle with. I don't, because I'm that type of person, but some of my staff absolutely struggle with these kids, but I'm not prepared. We've nurtured these for the last 4 years. I am not prepared now stand in front of any trustee and any management and say, I'm not letting these go until I've got somewhere for them to go, because we offer a youth club but they won't come to our youth club. So what's gone wrong there?
You want to know why?
X, Y and Z needs sorting. So that means someone like us have got to stay later to transition them in. You know, our babies, as we call them, sign in and say, hi Debbie, name's Johnny, and can you mind my pound please? But when you suddenly go to youth club, you've got to sign your own name on a register. What about if they can't really write? What about if they can't spell? Why can't Debbie sign them in? Why has it got to change? Why has it got to be suddenly you're a grown up because you've hit high school? Because you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like so we are.
So
really,
do you work with the BB?
So no, we work with them, as in like Julie's one of our friends, you know, and I've phoned Julie loads of times and gone, Julie, what are you guys? The only thing different that has come back is that they have a softball and they play football in an indoor sports hall. Now, that's the only thing that we don't do. So if it is just a case of ordering 10 soft balls from Amazon, then let's just freaking do it and get it on. Do you know, but what we've got that Julie hasn't got is all this outside space. But is that really what they want? Because the only feedback that they're giving us is that they play the softball inside in the hospital. So if you take that, then if that's it, then who knows? But, we have a staff change at 6 o'clock as well. Yeah. So our staff, maybe they don't know them as well, me and Debbie are very out there and big personalities and...
So could it be training?
Yeah, could it be that we change our hours slightly and we stay later for a couple of months till they transition in?
I think, listening to you and everything you're doing, I do think it's absolutely fantastic. It's kind of like your hands are in every single part.
Yeah.
So when do you stop?
Well, don't, but then... The times I have stopped Debbie and let other people take control, they don't do it. So then I'm like, I can't do it anymore. That's very mad then.
But then, I don't know, there's got to be...
So one example was we had a Macmillan cake sale. My boss said to me, you're not doing it. Another member of staff, she doesn't work here now. Another member of staff's doing it. I said, no problem, okay. So on that Monday morning, she ordered the pack, the other member of staff. It was lovely, it all came, yeah. She went off sick on the Monday morning. So I've advertised it on our social media page. Come down, Macmillan cake sale, come and raise some money. Went into the shop, didn't know where the pack was. Went to the shop, has anyone bought any cakes? No. I won't say a name, but the other member of staff said she was making them all the weekend. No. Okay, so then I, at 9 o'clock, like a lunatic, I don't have a car, legs it down to Morrison's, trying to grab everything they've got off the shop. Went to the other little shop down the road, grabbed what I can there. Went to Hearst, grabbed what I can there. Came back, quickly decorated the shop. Hey, come on down to our cake sale. So then I think every time I go, okay. Let some, because it's Shaft's name. It's my reputation on Shaft's name, and I know I can do things to a really good standard. So if someone isn't going to take the Chance for Change program, how long is Leanne? Well over a year, and I'm only just. Letting her go on her own because that's my baby, or the whole projects are mine under Shaft. So ultimately they're going to say Shaft's, oh no, I went to their group, oh no, it was rubbish. I went to that cake sale, oh my god, we'll never go again, there was nothing there. But so then that reflects.
You're going to have to delegate to somebody. Yeah,
so we're bringing in, we're in the middle of a restructure now, so we're bringing in different...
That wasn't a disrespect.
No, I agree. I agree with it.
Does.
But I've got to get the right people, haven't I? So I've said to my boss, part of the restructure is we have so many people doing so many roles entwined into one. So I need clear play workers and clear community workers. If you want me to grow this club into a community centre now, I've got to have community workers, not underneath me, running right alongside with me. Yeah. So when I'm awake at 9 o'clock, because our Christmas night out last year, I left our Christmas night out, not the one just gone, the one before, because we had kids' toys. Now I wanted to do that because I'd promised all these families that we were getting toys, but while everyone else had their night out, I left. Yeah. So I need someone who's going to leave with me. Do you know what I mean? I need someone to be like, come on, so let's go. Yeah. Because I can't grow it on my own. So from the restructure, hopefully we're going to have business support. We're going to have a sports lead, a youth and sport lead, which will take a lot of pressure from me from the youth side. We're going to have community and play lead.
I'd imagine they've got to be like-minded, haven't they? You're looking for people who are like you.
Yeah, got to be. Because otherwise I will just become the boss of all of them, won't I? Yeah. They've got to be strong. They've got to be able to challenge me. I want that. I want that more than anything. I don't, at the moment, it's like our big boss, she's very much behind the scenes, and then you've got me who's running all of that, and then Debbie who runs alongside me, but that's not actually her job, so at some point that's it's only that we're really good friends, and she supports me in everything that I do, but realistically that isn't her job, and that's not what she's getting paid for. So at any point our manager could say, oh no, you're not helping today. You've got office work to do, or you've got invoices to do, or you've got...
And it's mad, but it's because we've got all these other staff, but...
Everyone's just entwined, and that's just where we're at. Everyone's fingers in everyone's pies. So the end of the restructures, end of April, and then everyone's got a clear pathway of where they're running and what they're doing.
Better that way, isn't it?
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
If not, yeah.
Listen, what we'll do, right, because we're coming to the time limit. Just got to butt in here with the three girls. We're going to cut it short here. We're going to end this video. This is part 1 of 2. of chefs. Join us next time for part 2 of 2. Safe to all, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.